bought it for my wife. It's a coupe. I love that car.
Listen, what did I tell you before? I talked to you before, didn't I? Didn't I say what's going on? Didn't I say not to go buy anything for a while?
Now, that's the guys, obviously, from the fantastic movie Goodfellas, celebrating after they pulled off the Lufthansa heist from Kennedy Airport. They netted $6 million. Robert De Niro's character wanted his crew to lay low so they wouldn't get caught. And they didn't. Well, that is at least till now, more than 30 years later. A mob turncoat named GASPARE Valenti testified against reputed BONNANO crime boss Vincent Asaro in federal court yesterday. Valenti says he was involved, but Asaro masterminded the whole thing. Now, you might be wondering why this is coming to trial now, more than 30 years later. Feds say Valenti voluntarily came to them in 2008 and agreed to testify against Asaro. Then the wiretaps ensued, and we find ourselves here today. Neil, it was one of those stories where nobody sang, nobody gave up anybody else. They never found the money. They still haven't found the money.
Buried someplace.
You would think, or along with maybe some other folks, but nonetheless, when you guys were seeing this thing play out, I guess your first instinct was, let's see if they can hold up, because how many other eyewitnesses were there? If they can't produce the money, right? Is this going to be a tough one for the feds to win?
I think it's going to be a very tough one for the feds to win, largely because of the time frame. But as I said to you earlier, I think they're going to have one heck of a time trying to pick a jury in this case, right? How are you going to find 12 jurors and a few alternates who didn't see the movie?
Right.
They must have been living under a rock if they didn't see the movie. It's been on cable 100 times or more.
My God, you're absolutely right.
But I think it's going to be hard to prove that case, convince people all these years later that these people that are coming in as government witnesses really know what they're talking about.
And we don't know yet, Mayor, what were on the wiretaps between '08 and now, apparently, once this guy came forward, and I'm sure it was just out of the goodness of his heart, that what they found out in some of the other calls and everything else. But, you know, we've already established you don't have to produce a body to convict somebody of murder. But do you have to produce the money, or where the monies may have gone, being attached here to Casare to hold him or to convict him, or no?
Well, it's one thing to charge someone. It's a very different thing to get a conviction. In a case like this, you're going to want to see some real evidence, and there's some serious questions about the person who voluntarily goes into the federal authorities and wants to, out of the kindness of his heart, talk about, you know, one of the most famous heists in history. And the voluntariness is going to be something that's going to be an issue. Not so much that the people who may get charged along with him can argue that, because that goes toward his voluntariness. But it goes towards your credibility. And at some point, you're going to want to see what promises were made. That's one of the things that we want to get into. And what are you going to get in return for your testimony?
And you know, Neil, Hollywood and everyone else has mythologized these guys to a certain degree. I mean, look at John Gotti, who's called Teflon Don for a reason, how many times he skated. Is there an element of this, too, that if this is just a big heist, that to get 12 people, to get them all to agree here that an 80-year-old guy should go away for whatever remaining days he has left, if it seems circumstantial, makes it even harder?
I guess it does, but needless to say, the judge is going to instruct the jury that their sympathy and anything they may have read in the media should not come into it. Just listen to the evidence that's presented to you. But there is a certain romanticism involved in it, and there is this sort of Robin Hood idea. You know, who did these guys hurt? They didn't hurt me. They stole from Lufthansa. Who cares? You know, that sort
Some
of
airline,
thinking.
they could have handled it. Well, we're going to see how this whole thing plays out. Mail, before I let you go, nice honor. You and former governor, a few others, recognized here recently. Tell everybody about the event.
We were at an event for NSSA, which is an Academy for Science and Technology in Mount Vernon. And it's phenomenal, really. There are a lot of young people that go to school even on Saturday mornings, and they're interested in the sciences. And it gives us an opportunity to really work with them and talk to them about how they can take their interest and their talents to maximize them and become, you know, what they actually have the capability of becoming. And it's really just a great, great effort, and it's nurturing children. So I always.
And the former governor was there with you.
Former governor, yes, Governor Patterson was there with us last night, and everybody there agreed that when we nurture young people, it's amazing what they can do.
Kids going on Saturdays, a lot smarter than me.
Absolutely.
Good for those kids here, and congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
Neil, Mayo, thank you guys very much. All right. When we come back on the other side of the break, an exclusive update on our RFL investigative report that we told you about yesterday. Local race is thrown into turmoil. That when the candidate for the Rockland County Sheriff suspended from his job as police chief. Was it politics? Was it policing? We'll talk about that with Andrew next.